Hello, it's BrickBot, and Metal Cardbot S, the second season of Metal Cardbot, has been rolling out at the end of August, and is steadily going along 2 episodes at a time per week. It's pretty fast for a 26-episode run, but of course, they're just introducing all new characters. Starting off with the update of the main lead, Blue Cop S. Yeah, so this is a substantially bigger box than Blue Cop's old box, which I don't have because I got the Chinese version. Yeah, but there's a lot more shattering stones around here. On a similar Metal Cardbot frame, there's June in his newish clothes. The Supernova Smash is his new gauntlet power name. So his weapon card is in 2 parts, the Burst Armor and the Burst Gauntlet. Yeah, so I guess this card has 2 parts now. Yeah, so there's the there's the robot mode and vehicle mode renders. And then this is, August of 24. Godbrave Studio and Sam G. Wonder what the S stands for. Super? Metal Cardbot Super? And just in the show, the sub-tagline for Metal Cardbot S is roughly translates to The Iron Return, the Return of Steel, something like that. There's an English title that says Robots in the Card. Just the one singular card. The word "the" is a real litmus test to tell how well one is proficient in English. That's a bit unfortunate that we're going with awkward English with Metal Cardbot stub on this one. Yeah, so it's still a full clamshell with the PET right here, and the card off to the side, so it's slanted off to the side here. And the big new gauntlet right in the middle of his legs. Back spoiler. They are the same size as the old cards, and this is a pretty new design. Like a circular wheel here. Doesn't have as much painted gold. No painted gold like the old cards. And a new Metal Cardbot faction logo. I guess this is a second logo.
A new faction called the Star Guardians. Not to be confused with Star Guardian.
And of course, just putting it in the metal brace. Of course it doesn't work. This is not an electronic card, I think. So I think this metal brace had its own preset of all those sounds. So it's not updated. You can't update the firmware to add new sounds. So you're gonna have to buy Luca's second Metal Cardbot watch whenever that comes out, just to hear like 3 different sounds of Blue Cop's new weapon. But for now, I guess I don't need much use for you, Metal Brace. No, actually, it's Metal Breath.
With Metal Breath, we'll go. Collect all the cards.
I mean, seriously, how do you mess that up? How do you mess that up, Singaporean English dub? Metal breath, breathing. Does it say breathe? Who looked at this brace and called it a breath? Billy and his power packs?
Billy, you okay? Not really. Find the power pack.
Or the Metal Brass on Godbrave Studio website. I mean, how hard is it to get that right? Brace, that's a common word, not like brass. You metal breath. Blue Cop S is still a big old police Lamborghini. A squat and short Lamborghini. And looks very similar to the old Blue Cop, but rate them side by side and you can tell there's some difference. It's much bigger car, which kind of brings it up to the next scale of Korean cars. Where the original Blue Cop was based more on the Lamborghini Gallardo, the new one is based more on the more common Aventador. Yeah, just those curved vents. And somewhat the headlight designs. Yeah, and including, these side vents here. And then the spoiler is also very angular like a Lamborghini, even though this particular one doesn't have a spoiler, but imagine a spoiler. Back is robot feet, but kind of similar. And finally, he has show-accurate eyes. Those hard-angled eyes. Those angled eyes with a cut pupil, as in the show, instead of these, like, super circular things. I think this was just some discrepancy between the toy designers and the show designers, where I guess toy designers just came up with this simple thing, while then I guess later the show decided they went with something more uniquely shaped. Yeah, but you know, second year, despite the second year, things get more synchronous with the toy and show. Yeah, but this looks a little weird. But he has angrier eyebrows and a bigger sirens. The hood design is pretty similar, although there's a bit more gold here. Like the gold, the thin striping of gold on the front here, just been relocated to the sides here. Yeah, the gold's much more prominent here, and also a little gold stripe that doesn't go all the way across the hood. But a nice little different styles. Still blue striping across here. No spoiler. They both roll pretty well, but I think this one also really rolly. This is a much more indigo blue than the original lighter blue. Just more of a standard blue, but more purpler blue, the indigo blue is. And this is mostly painted, from what I can feel. This is like matte blue paint. Blue plastic bottom and the main robot parts, but this is white plastic mostly, except the white painted bits here, all over on the back here. And then especially here, you can tell the different shades in paint, which the blue plastic underneath very slightly bleeds. And some gold paint runoff on this one, eek. I'm afraid of baking soda that thing off because it might rub away the paint too, but for the transformation, this very much looks like a robot curled up in there. The legs are on leg sliders, so this kind of looks like a power-up mode. If you want to fan it that, just make it longer to make it more powerful or speedier somehow. And I guess this does kind of make it look a little more proportioned to a real Lamborghini. So on to the rest. Double hinge fold. And then feed out. And then yeah, these side doors. The kibble goes off to the side like this. Click your shoulders down. And then yeah, the double hinge like this. Oh yeah, and don't forget to rotate and click his side flares. Diagonal legs. Diagonal side kibble. Yeah, I think that was a bit much more simpler than the original blue copy, though that's very similar, mostly because it's sliding legs instead of hinge legs. But he can no longer pop a wheelie. And yeah, also, yeah, I guess a bit more clicking hinges, more locking. There was a more tighter lock in here. I literally just squeezed my finger. Much more better kibble cleanup management. Because most of the car hood is now in the legs. Instead of this thing take up its back, and then the hood also double folding up here nicely. And also, yeah, no need to flip out extra heels. And of course, noticeably much taller. Much taller than your average Transformer. I guess I also love the colors. They just, again, the indigo blue just really shines here much more. And also, nice even distribution of black and gold throughout more than the original. Again, just kibble on the bigger piece of the body just really makes a difference. Instead of just hollow legs and big kibbly backpack. How adjustable are these kibble wings exactly? Just a bit like that, and then maybe just you can fold them in all the way like this. Is this supposed to be all the way like this? I think it probably is. Oh yeah, probably is like this. I guess the leg details are much more sculpted and intricate, although yeah, I guess a little bit of gold run over. And I guess maybe a bit more, yeah, more visible feet than just kind of flat platform shoes. And also, of course it's unpainted, but that is show accurate at least. So you don't have to get the Chinese exclusive version for slightly more show accurate decals on a pretty non-show accurate toy. And check it out, the head sculpt has painted eyes instead of just the dead blue visor eyes. Although I guess it's just plain white paint right in front of the clear red plastic, so I guess in some angles it's kind of hard to see. And yeah, I guess it would have been a lot better if this was pink. And this does have some backside here, but Okay, I had to unscrew this to realize this was actually separate light piping pieces. And because they had to put the screw hole in his ear while the other one has the lightning bolt. Really, I guess there's an odd way to put that there because they really had to put it something that way. Yeah, just take it off his whole head. Yeah, you know, it's a clear red here, so. This is kind of cursed. He has no brain without his canonically removable cap. Yes, it's funny that he has a separate cap. For articulation, he's got the same ball-socketed head with the ball mounted right in the body, and then extra hinges for inside the torso for the shoulders, so you can splay them out a bit more naturally. As far as the shoulders that are most commonly in hot rod shoulders go. Yeah, slidable legs means he could easily become a short stack. But if you extend those legs at the clicks and then nice ratchety forward and then nice ratchety back, all the way out. Thigh swivels, obtuse knee bend. Nothing at the feet other than this. Nice clickety ratchets, especially in the car fenders as well. Nice ratchety elbows. And no bicep swivels. On those inside of the arms are slightly less painted blue than the outside of the arms. Compared to the, you know, the half white, half blues that do have bicep swivels. This has slightly more budget, but they had to engineer out the bicep swivels. I guess he's a Cardbot now that typically have thigh swivels and no bicep swivels. At least he has a waist swivel. I guess that kind of makes up for lack of bicep swivels, but eh. Okay, I guess these skirts are a little hard to get out of the way, you know, just naturally, just by forcing the legs. You can't really do that easily, you just have to manually move those, along with here. Wow, this was pretty easy on this one. Yeah, but you know, the thigh and waist swivel, especially the waist swivel, lets him do more dynamic poses. His standard weapons are two pistols that are cleverly hidden in the car that look like exhausts. They just look like exhausts here, so that's really tiny. I didn't notice those at first, so now to get them out. Yeah, I guess once you get that, you just kind of... these are pretty tight. These are snuck in pretty tight too. Oh, there's a little latch here. Yeah, so we also have, you know, only two twin pistols instead of Blue Cops is just the singular one. And I wanted to say they were identical, but they're not, but they're very similar. Yeah, of course he can't hold the old pistols, but you can, yeah, hold the new pistols in his permanently open palmed hands. Yeah, really subtle connection points that you can't hardly see the tabs here, but... Yep, he can dual wield now, so... The new metal card weapon, which is considerably looking extra thick. It's in two pieces, like very obvious bulging piece that's just a single piece chest armor. Goes right in his slot here, so I guess his chest was originally pretty similar. But then I guess just add a lot more red to it. Okay, so it might slightly hamper the shoulder articulation, just you can't move them all the way out like this. Even more gold runoff right on here. Ugh. And then for transforming the metal card weapon, yeah, very big jet boosters and a very big blaster, and very big thumb, and articulated fingers, although they're all knuckled, there are no individual fingers. And a pretty bright blue. That's looking like a tint more green, a more greenish tint than the original Justice Gauntlet. And then this is the Burst Gauntlet. You can obviously tell it's a bit more of a hand, and more solid plastic pieces than the just all clear here. And I guess it's just much more recognizable that this is a rocket. These are rockets, while these, you can't imagine these are rockets, but left to the imagination. But yeah, with rocket-powered punches. And unlike the original, which kind of just slotted on these obvious portholes here, this just slides over his entire hand. Which I guess technically could do for the other hand. But then, you know, finger in the wrong position. Yeah, pretty big gauntlet. Just, it looks bigger and stronger for even more powerful punches. Oops, totally forgot this thing also has a diagonal slider, so that it clears away from his shoulders. Yeah, so imagine the things you can do with articulated fingers. Although, yeah, that completely splayed them out and that looks absolutely cursed. Just super long fingies. Perspective trick. Just because this just wraps around the entire length of this card like this. So that's why they're so ridiculously long. You wanted them just to remove a knuckle, just shorten them to like this here, just and leave it an incomplete silhouette like this? Really? Do you want that? Or just natural fingers? And then the thumb, at least it has an articulated thumb with an extra articulated finger here, knuckle joint. Oh yeah, okay, you can wrap the thumb in there. And yeah, I suppose you can get grips on some things. Jedi Blue Cop. Finally used for my oversized Lego lightsaber pen. Or he could hold a card. He could be a good card holder. Okay, not the best because, you know, hard to undercatch, but like this, yeah. Even though this looks very unsightly, I guess you could do some fun things about grabbing some stuff. It was very obvious, you know, that this Blue Cop S is better than the old Blue Cop in every way, except bicep swivels. But other than that, just prettier colors, more articulation, better kibble management especially, and a slightly more expressive head, just in the eyes. But so good news, if you just held off of the original Blue Cop because he's just another typical police car transformer, then you really only need to get Blue Cop S. I guess he's the currently definitive version, just to be the main representative lead of the Metal Cardbot series that is really growing in popularity. Yeah, so this is gonna be the best Blue Cop until Season 3, where they'll probably give him a third form in the Metal Cardbot Axe series. Probably. They're gonna probably call it third season Axe, just because letters. Can the third toy top this one? We won't know for a year or two. Lore time. Why does only Blue Cop S get an upgrade in this toy? Just because he's the main lead? What about all the other 11? What are they gonna be doing in the meantime? Well, they're all gonna be trapped in the metal brace, and they were all kidnapped by a red bastard who threw them into a wormhole, so I guess Blue Cop S's mission is just to find that metal brace, that old metal brace, and then rescue his friends. So that's a convenient way to write all the other characters we know to grow and love right out of the story. And then June is given a Peruvian metal brace, or whatever the new watch device is called, and just upgrades him into Blue Cop S. So I guess if the Samji writers were smart, they would have each of the Metal Cardbot members rescued one by one. But if they were on a budget, they'd probably be all rescued all at once in the finale. Or from what we can see from the currently ongoing episodes, the old guys are going to be featured mostly in flashbacks. So I guess we'll just see bits of them again, just in the past, in the between time between season 1 and 2. So yeah, so maybe it might be a bit disappointing in that writing direction, because in a limited 26 episode capacity, you're adding 7 more characters, 7 all new characters, so you really don't have much room to work with the other 11 characters, whether sprinkled throughout or all at once at the end. So we'll just have to wait and see.